most people, when it comes to buying a TV, the budget is always the biggest pain point. And honestly, I get it. We've all been told the same thing. Good TVs are always expensive and only come from the household names. That's what we've become accustomed to, but today you'll find out that's actually not the case. This TV sits in that sweet spot between affordability and good quality features that make you double take. I'm talking patented QLED technology that doesn't just look good out of the box, it's built to last years without fading. You also get 120Hz refresh rate for the die-hard sports fan and gamers who hate motion blur, then hands-free Google built-in so you don't have to press the microphone button every time you want to put in a request. Oh, and here's my personal favorite. If you're like me and constantly lose the remote, don't panic. This TV actually comes with a Find My Remote feature. Now, with all these features, you'd think it's another overpriced TV from the usual suspects. Nope. This is the budget QLED TV from Skyworth they didn't want you to know about. And in this video, I'm unpacking everything you need to know. No fluff, just real talk. Alright, first things first, let's see what's inside the box. The one I've got here is the 55-inch variant, and honestly, it feels fairly light. Of course, I also throw around some serious metal in the gym, so maybe don't take my word for it. Lifting the lid open, you're greeted with cardboard lining, the feet on either side, the remote, the power cord, and the all-important warranty papers. You know, the one we pretend we don't need until we actually do. Checking out the remote, at first glance, it almost has the same form factor as that of a Samsung TV remote, but it's just a tad bit beefier, has a few white buttons, and a matte finish. But there's more to it than just a matte finish and white buttons. There's a feature we'll talk about a little later in the video. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of the color mix, given that over time, the white buttons will start browning. Anyway, lifting off the top styrofoam, the TV is wrapped in the usual scratch protector plastic. As for the feet, they are labeled A and B, so you've got to make sure you are screwing them in the right way, otherwise they won't fit. When it comes to installation, it's super straightforward. All you need is a screwdriver, the provided screws, and in less than 5 minutes, you should be good to go. Honestly, it takes longer to choose what to watch on Netflix than it does to set this up. Design-wise, here's the surprise. Even though the chassis is predominantly plastic, it actually looks premium. The bezels barely noticeable running around the screen with a subtle Skyworth logo centered around the bottom of the frame. Now, moving to the back, you'll notice something. The bottom bit is a bit chunkier. Why, you may ask? It's because that's where all the brains of the TV live. On the left side of that chunk, you've got your ports neatly stacked. Up top, you've got the terrestrial, aerial, and cable TV connector, then 2 USB-A ports followed by 3 HDMI 2.1 ports, and at the bottom you'll find an optical audio out and an Ethernet port. Oh, and before I forget, you'll also get an AV-in combo port, an antenna interface, and an aux output. In short, if you've got a device from the early 2000s, this TV has you in mind. As for the build quality, like mentioned earlier, it looks premium, but I did notice a slight wobble when setting it up, but nothing too crazy. Now, with the TV setup, let's talk about what majority of you are super interested in: picture quality and the display. Now, the question we all ask ourselves when it comes to displays is, will the picture quality always be this good? Well, that's a question of time, but as you can see, out of the box, the picture quality looks pretty amazing, but if you're next to a window, the reflections will be quite visible. Now, while I haven't used the previous gen Q6600H, the Q6600H uses Quantum Dot Pro Plus with solid shield protection. With Max, the colors pop and last for ages without fading. Placing it next to my Samsung QLED TV, it gives it a run for its money thanks to the Q6600H secret weapon, the latest generation QLED Plus technology I mentioned a few seconds ago. Now, here's the thing. Most TVs start strong, then fade over time. We've all seen it. That once vivid picture slowly dulls like your favorite t-shirt after one too many washes. The Q6600H flips that script. That golden honey drip will stay golden for years to come. The ocean blue from your favorite landscape video will stay ocean blue. No fading, no fogging out. Now let's talk color science. The Q6600H taps into the blue primary colors of light, stretching its wings across a wider color gamut. Translation: your nature docos explode with richer greens, your late night football games beam with crisp colors against a deep, uniform turf. Even a random YouTube cooking video suddenly makes a plate of nachos look gourmet. That's what Skyworth calls leading the way in a more colorful image, and it doesn't stop there. By building with silicon dioxide, the Q6600H quantum dots are shielded from environmental stress. I'm talking humidity, light exposure, time, and the result? Prolonged viewing without stress for both your panel and your eyes. In case you're wondering what's powering this gemstone of a screen, it's a gemstone quite literally. Anyway, just kidding. Skyworth call it the sapphire crystal chip with an extra large lens, and it steps in to deliver supreme cooling efficiency. Why does that matter, you may ask? Well, it keeps brightness consistent during those extreme movie marathons. Now add in the 120 Hz of the Q6600H and fast action isn't a blur anymore. Every tackle in your rugby match, every corner drift in your racing game stays razor sharp. If you'd ask me, it's conflict resolution quite literally. While on the subject of picture quality, the relation between screen resolution and screen size is called pixel density. What it essentially does is measure how many pixels you're packing in every inch of screen real estate. Now, given its 55-inch screen size and 4K resolution, typically it would have about 80 pixels per inch. Text and fine details like credits, subtitles appear crisp with no visible pixelation. Now, why does that matter, you may ask? Imagine reading subtitles on an old 1080p TV. The subtitles appear jagged, fuzzy, almost like someone wrote them with chalk. On the Q6600H, those same subtitles appear clean with no pixelation. That's how good the pixel density of the Q6600H is. Now, let's connect the dots between pixel density and motion clarity. Like mentioned earlier, the Q6600H packs around 80 pixels per inch in its 4K QLED Plus panel. For those who have no clue, that's a lot of pixels in a relatively small area. But here's the catch. The higher the pixel density, the less physical movement it takes for an object on screen to cross a single pixel. What does that mean? I know it's a bit complicated, but stay with me. Now, when a camera pans across a football field or a car zooms across a track, those pixels have to refresh incredibly fast in order to keep up. If the refresh rate is low, that's how you end up with ghosting behind fast-moving objects. Now, here's the interesting bit. On a low-resolution TV, motion blur is less noticeable because the pixels are bigger and fewer. For high-resolution screens, on the other hand, motion blur is more visible if the response time isn't fast enough. So, where does the Q6600H with its 4K QLED Plus screen stand? Well, its 120 Hz Turbo Motion with MEMC is designed to overcome exactly that. The display engine has to process more pixel information than a full HD TV, but it does so seamlessly. MEMC inserts calculated frames in between, while the short pixel persistence keeps each pixel crisp as it transitions. The result? That football you're tracking across the screen doesn't smear. That racing car doesn't ghost. Motion looks fluid and natural even though you're packing more detail into every frame. Now, before someone kills me in the comments, MEMC stands for Motion Estimation, Motion Compensation. It's a technology that enhances fast-moving scenes by analyzing the motion between original frames and gathering new intermediate frames to create a smoother, more fluid picture for a comfortable viewing experience. Speaking of viewing experience, sound is 50% of it, and the Q6600H is pretty decent.
Can I help y'all out here? Look, we don't need your help. He's done. Go, shut the clock.
Now, here's the thing. Most budget TVs, no matter how beautiful the display is, end up sounding like a tin can at a school play. You've got gorgeous 4K visuals, but the audio, flat, hollow, and way too quiet until the commercials blast in like a jump scare. Now, don't get me wrong, it's never gonna be the same as that of a soundbar or a home theater, but if you don't want to invest in a sound system straight away, the Q6600H is pretty decent. According to Skyworth, they partnered with DBX TV, the same people trusted to tune systems on par with JBL and Harman Kardon. So what does that mean for you? It means full natural sound that just doesn't sit at the bottom of your screen. It also means dialogue that's crystal clear, so you're not constantly reaching for subtitles. Even better, DBX TV frees you from the most annoying pain point in TV audio: volume spikes. No more whisper quiet movies followed by commercials that almost blow out your eardrums. What do you guys think about the audio of the Q6600H? Oh, and while in that thought process, add in the Find My Remote feature and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Honestly, I never thought I could look for my remote the same way I did for my misplaced AirPods. Now, I know we've all been there. You're ready to dive back into your show and suddenly the remote is gone. The usual suspects? Cushion gaps, books, coffee table, you know how it goes before your head starts spinning. But with this new feature, the Q6600H is making that a thing of the past. Here's how it works. Reach under the TV, just below the Skyworth logo, and you'll find a small physical menu or power bar. Tap it once to bring up the screen menu, then keep pressing to scroll until you land on the Find My Remote. Now for the magic, long press that same button and your remote will instantly start buzzing. Just follow the sound, grab your remote and hit any button to silence it. Just like that, you can say goodbye to cushion flipping and the endless head scratching. If you thought that was it, the Q6600H has a few more smart features up its sleeve. Now, you know the drill. Lights down, snacks ready, and the series marathon begins. A few episodes in and your eyes start to feel as though you've been staring at a flashlight. That's the hidden tax of most TVs. Vivid pictures can sometimes lead to eye strain, but with the Q6600H eye care technology, that changes. With Quantum Dot Pro Plus built in, colors stay rich and balanced. Gold colors stay gold, blues look ocean deep, and skin tones stay true. Add the AI-powered Extreme engine and every frame is tuned on the fly for sharpness and contrast, giving you cinematic punch without frying your eyes, and here's where it gets better. The Q6600H is built with reduced blue light and flicker-free technology, so the invisible flicker and harsh tones that normally wear you down will be a thing of the past. Now, you ever notice how remotes are like toddlers? They like to control everything and only listen when you press the right buttons. The Q6600H fixes that with its hands-free Google Assistant. Say you want to watch Stranger Things? Just ask Google. Hey Google, open Stranger Things on Netflix.
Sure, here's Stranger Things on Netflix.
Even better, the pizza guy knocks at the door and instead of fumbling with buttons, you just say, "Hey Google, pause." Just like that, no missed scenes, no greasy fingerprints on the remote. That's the difference here. True hands-free. In case you haven't picked it up, most TVs with voice control still make you press the microphone button on the remote, then pass your command. The Q6600H, on the other hand, skips all that fluff and goes straight to the command. And thanks to Google TV, the integration goes deep. I'm talking personalized recommendations, smart content discovery, and seamless control of your entire Google system. In short, it makes the Q66H an extra Google hub in addition to its main function as a TV. Alright, let's talk about the part that usually makes or breaks the deal: the price. Now, if you've been TV shopping lately, you know the drill. Samsung, LG, Sony, they'll happily charge you anywhere between 1,800 and 2,500 Australian dollars for a QLED TV with these same features. Now, don't get me wrong, they make incredible TVs, but here's the kicker. Skyworth undercuts them massively. At the time of recording this video, the 55-inch Skyworth Q6600H goes for 759 Australian dollars on Amazon. Step up to the 65-inch and you'll fork out about $960. Move up a notch to the 75-inch and you're parting ways with 1,200 Australian dollars. Fancy something even bigger? You'll part ways with $1,900. Compared to the so-called household names, that's nearly half the price across each size variant. Now, from the outside looking in, it sounds almost too good to be true, because normally when a TV is fairly affordable, there's always a catch. It could be dimmer colors, laggy software, or sound that feels like it's coming from a soup can. For the Q6600H, that script doesn't apply. For its prices, it's ticking all the right boxes. So the real question is, when we go for brand names, are we paying for performance or the brand logo at the bottom of the screen? A lot of food for thought. After spending almost 2 weeks with this TV, here's where I land. You get a budget 4K QLED Plus TV that punches way above its weight. Add in the DBX TV tuned audio, the Find My Remote feature that saves you from midnight cushion flips, eye care tech that actually lets you binge without eye strain, and hands-free Google Assistant. This TV really makes you double tech. Now, is it perfect? Of course not. The stand has a slight wobble, the remote design isn't winning any beauty awards, and if you're an audiophile, you'll want a soundbar. But here's the kicker. With all these good features at its price, the Q6600H is proof that a budget TV doesn't necessarily mean compromise. Now, just to be clear and transparent, this video was sponsored by Skyworth, but there's no editorial input from Skyworth. All the thoughts and opinions are mine based on the time I've spent with it. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's discuss. But most important of all, I hope you enjoyed and found this video helpful. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. Speaking of which, here's one you can watch while you wait for the next one. Until then, people of the internet, see you over here.